Ladies and gentlemen.
Basically, they're both having their periods because they're rolling.
Yeah, the audio and the video are both rolling. Need to get them some maxi pads.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever asked yourself, why is it called maxi pad? Like, as a man, you don't know how it functions. Is it maxi because the girl has a big...
I think it's the
or is it
thickness.
Yeah.
Because it goes with the heaviness of the flow. And the ladies can correct me if they'd like, but...
And on that bloody note, welcome to ThinkShack. This is episode...
That bloody note.
Exactly.
After talking about periods. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a period, right? On that bloody note, put a period. Right.
Yeah.
This is ThinkShack. Welcome to another episode. This is Jean.
This is Ramsey.
Graham is our guest for today, not our torture victim. And this is not a casting couch. So ladies, subscribe to the OnlyFans if you want that kind of content. But so far, it's just an interview.
But he's a really cool guy, as we'll find out as soon as,
As soon as we fuck around. The more you fuck around, the more you find out.
Yeah, we'll get to it as soon as we do the beer review. Because, I know we're going to dive deep into pickleball and learn about it and some of the other stuff he does. So
Graham is a pickleball coach. For those of you wondering what pickleball is, you'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
Sounds like a threat, doesn't it? We'll find out soon enough.
Let's play pickleball.
The only thing I'm not doing is pointing.
So I guess we can dive into the liquor review. So today we decided to do a bunch of Belgian beers, and I am going out on a limb here, assuming they're Belgian because they could be also from some other countries.
If you drink this, you'll go out on a limb for sure. The other one won't be working.
Yeah,
you'll just be limping like.
But mostly, I do find that these high percentage beers do tend to be Belgian. Like Faxe, but today we're not doing Faxe.
These are people who don't drink just for socializing. They drink to get drunk.
Exactly.
The mission is to get drunk.
Usually, because they're trying to forget. At some point you're not drinking for fun. You probably have issues in your life. This is the kind of shit you drink if you have issues in your life.
Exactly. 16% in each of these beers. We have Royal Dutch. As royal as it gets, because you get royally fucked.
So that's Dutch, as in
Holland.
Holland. That's why I'm saying they can't all be Belgian.
Yeah.
But that
much as they might try,
that particular group of countries, the Nordic, Scandinavian countries, they do tend to make really strong beer. It's a thing. I don't know what the people there are going through, but for you to have
16% beer,
brew that stuff,
must be something serious. And there's a horn here. There's a horn here, an ancient horn. Graham, what are you drinking?
I think I'll go with the OJ. I've
never had OJ either.
It doesn't have orange juice in it. I promise you, it does not have orange. I have had OJ.
It definitely did not murder its wife. Because it's not a Simpson.
But it might make you want to murder your wife because you'll be so drunk by the end of it. Like, OJ made me do it.
So let's start with the OJ. We can open that first. I hope it's not going to...
Wait, we didn't tell them what we're having last. It's...
Atlas. Because it's going to make you feel like you're going around the world.
But you're going to need the strength of Atlas to just stand up.
The mega strong.
Look at this. Even Atlas looks drunk. He's like, why am I doing it?
Yeah. It's from that Greek legend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Atlas, the man who's carrying the world on
Greek
his shoulders.
mythology.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if there's Kenyan mythology. Stories Ajaba is Kenyan mythology. Have you ever thought about it?
Yeah, that makes so much sense. That's clever.
It's actually true.
And so, and I guess like Methalis and whatnots, you
could call it a mythali with a Y.
That's our version of Aesop's fables. Remember Aesop's fables? That book of stories. So let me open it.
Be careful, it might spill. It might come all over the place, so you might want to use
I actually don't think it will because it hasn't been shaken.
You should have listened to me.
Well,
I told you should have listened to me.
You can call me Stone Cold Steve Austin because this is what he does every time he's in the ring.
That's the bottom line.
And I am going to try and pour it into this glass.
You just made it come.
Yeah. Okay.
All over the place.
That's the worst of it.
All right, let me give you the second one because I don't want to touch that.
I don't know why I'm always taking L's on this show. I'm like, it won't happen, and then it happens.
It's because you're in the wrong. You see, I'm in the right because I'm on the right.
You're on the right.
I'm on the right side, you're in the wrong. When you come to this side, you'll be right.
See why I told you it makes sense to have it from the cup? Because if you're sampling every beer, we can't just take it from the can.
Let that be yours, my good sir.
You can't fill from an empty cup. You ever heard that?
That's very deep, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like,
what does it mean though?
You can't feel or you can't give.
You can't
fill
give from an empty cup. Well, I mean, I'm okay. It's probably give, but like I'm just thinking from the perspective of like using the lingo for pouring stuff. But yeah, I mean the idea is that you can't give if you don't have.
Exactly. ASMR time. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Shh. Listen. That's the sound of beer foaming.
Oh yeah.
Effervescence.
Yeah.
The royal piss. So let's have a drink of this. This is OJ, right?
Mm-hmm. This is OJ.
Get a whiff. Smell your sobriety disappear.
Mm-hmm. So let's see.
Tastes quite hoppy.
I think they're really heavy on hops. Yeah.
Very strong hops.
I don't know if this counts as blonde beer.
It is.
Remember when we did the beer review? We talked about blonde beer. So it's born in Belgium. Yeah, this is definitely Belgian. Those guys who used to cut people's hands back in the Congo.
That was just Leopold. It's not all Belgians who do that.
I bet it was his people.
OJ. I don't know what
It's
OJ
like saying
means.
the Germans didn't kill the Jews, it was Hitler. Well, it was the Germans because they were
under Hitler, right?
Yeah.
You know you can feel the alcohol going down your system. It's very weird.
I know, it burns as it goes down. It's
very strange for a beer. If you're fortunate enough to hate yourself enough to want to try a very strong beer, but it tastes great, to be honest. Like for the level of alcohol it has.
When we were taking the gin, I was so willing to have it through the snoot, but this has a smell. So the snoot is probably going to smell like beer for a while.
It does have a bit of a very distant berry taste. Do you taste the berries? It's something like a berry.
Look at the ingredients, actually.
I might be talking out of my ass.
Barley.
So it has barley, malt, sugar, hops.
There's no berries or anything.
No. But I suppose barley might have like a hint of that.
Like a sugary taste to it.
So this really hits quickly, doesn't it?
It's like I've had 3 sips and I already feel like I might start asking people for their numbers.
Alcohol is such an interesting drug. Like,
it's a very powerful drug as well.
Yeah, it's like the way it depresses your system and you lose control. Other drugs are just like, they work you up. There are lots of stimulants out there. People try like Jabba, we have Jabba juice on the table, but alcohol is just like calm down, relax.
Alcohol is not calm down. Okay, depending up to a certain threshold.
Calms down the things you don't want to calm down, like for example your motor coordination.
What would you say about the drink? What would you say?
Unpopular opinion, it's better than Guinness.
It's better than Guinness for sure. Guinness is very bitter. Guinness tastes like pain and suffering, but you drink it because you want to look like a man. Because you have no hair on your chest, but you want to feel like you do.
It does make me wonder though if the taste of a beer or like the taste profile of a beer is like a direct reference to the personality of the country it was made in. It's like Guinness is Irish or something, Scottish, sorry. And this is Belgian. It's like you can get this distinctive. Or maybe Budweiser is American. Maybe you can characterize, like anthropomorphize the taste.
You've told me pickleball comes from America, right?
Yeah.
So Graham is a pickleball coach. Let him introduce himself. But pickleball is like a new sport that's picking up in Kenya. It's not really that new in the world, but in Kenya it's just starting to trend. So he's one of the pioneers in that field.
So what is pickleball?
Exactly.
So again, my name is Graham. So pickleball coach, among other things. Can I go deep into that?
Yeah, please do.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, that's what he asked.
So yeah, I'm a pickleball coach at Nairobi Pickleball Club, which is at 2 Rivers Rooftop. And I'm also, I don't really like to be called a fitness trainer. I'm just passionate about fitness.
Why don't you like to be called a fitness trainer? Because it's associated with Wamamas? Is that why?
Kinda. Okay, I train most Wamamas.
Yeah.
So,
train them in what?
In fitness.
I was raising my eyebrows, but you can't see into the math.
In fitness. Fitness.
Yeah.
Physical fitness.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is pickleball?
So pickleball is a sport. It's a crossover sport. So it takes from every racket sport. Take a little bit of tennis, badminton, table tennis, paddle. So all these.
What is paddle?
Paddle is
Is it like table tennis?
Like paddle tennis.
Paddle
They
tennis.
actually played where I play football. So
at Jeffries we have.
it's like there's a distinction in the shape of the racket.
Exactly.
And
And
slightly the
also
rules.
the place is covered with like glass.
Right.
So you can actually, it's like tennis. You see, like once tennis, the ball hits the court and bounces off. That one you can hit the court and bounce off to a board behind you, and you return the serve.
It's like squash.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of squash. I also thought
squash
that.
plus tennis combined.
So, what what are the rules, the setup of pickleball and whatnot?
Okay,
Just make sure you don't say it plural. Pickleballs sounds like an interesting.
Yeah, it's like you put your balls in a jar of pickles.
It sounds like the pickle with the balls. The pickle with the olives.
Like balls in like pickle.
Yeah.
You know there was a restaurant on Gong Road called Cock and Bull?
I think I remember that one.
Cock and Bull.
Cock and Bull. Sounds like a gay strip bar or something like that.
It sounds really aggressive though. It's
like what are you doing this Sunday?
Because like bulls and cocks are generally very violent males, in their species. They fight. Cockfights and bullfights are a thing in Western Province.
Cockfight sounds nasty.
It'd be surprising if it's a vegan restaurant.
That would be funny.
That would be funny, yeah.
Because
So
cocks and bulls are actually vegan.
Well, of course, yeah, because they only eat. But cocks eat worms.
No,
Technically, cocks are omnivorous.
Some cocks eat pussycats.
Huh?
Some cocks eat pussycats.
That one is... just went over everyone's head. But yeah, I get what you're saying. So, what is the setup of pickleball?
So, pickleball is like... so, I'll be referring to tennis because people know tennis more.
Yeah.
So, you can play singles match 1-on-1 or 2-2. So, basically... it's played to up to 11 points. So, you only get a point when you serve. So, if I serve... and you make a mistake, I get a point.
I think it'd be good to probably overlay some pickleball games happening as he explains it.
Yeah, we'll do this in post. We'll let Cliff know.
The court is smaller than a tennis court. So most people who are not very athletic can actually learn the game. That's why it's really taking...
Probably the only court where Brian would be accepted.
Wait, which Brian?
The fake lawyer.
Oh, Brian Mwenda.
Yeah, go on.
Wait, was he that thick though?
What?
Was he thick?
No, he was a fake lawyer, so it's the only court.
I thought I heard the thick lawyer.
He'd be admitted. The fake lawyer.
Oh, okay.
So, it's a smaller court. It doesn't require a lot of intensity like a tennis.
Tennis is very intense. Most people don't know.
Yeah.
That's why you always hear the girls moaning, ooh,
yeah.
And even the guys like, it's like so much energy. You don't realize it's so long. Like if you've ever been on an actual tennis court, it's ridiculously long. And then you have to hit with so much power.
The balls travel with so much speed, like 90 kph.
Yes,
wow.
they do.
It's crazy.
So the pickleball court is smaller than the tennis court.
Smaller than the tennis courts. The paddle which we used to play is carbon fiber, so it's something like a pan.
It's very light.
Very light.
It's like, I suppose it's larger than a
table tennis.
paddle.
I can imagine that.
Larger than a table tennis, usually square in shape. Yeah, and then we have a hollow ball.
And what attracted you to pickleball as a sport?
How'd you get into it?
All the other popular sports in Kenya.
So I've been in fitness. So I met him at the gym.
We met at the gym.
Like some years ago, 4 years, 3
I think
years.
it's been like 4 or 3 years.
Yeah. So I've always been a sports freak. So I do cycle. Like crazy.
Seriously cycle.
Like, seriously, like Nairobi, Kitale type of cycle.
Yeah. Jean and I were talking about cycling this morning, and we were having this debate. Like, what's the fastest speed achieved by a human on a cycle? And he said it was 170. I actually found it was 183 kilometers per hour. But
I think
so hard to believe.
130. No, for the ones we looked at, like the top speed ever achieved was about 183.
And it's actually it's
going
miles
down
per hour. It's
Tour
not
de
even
France.
kilometers per hour.
Nice.
But then the average like highly trained cyclist doing the Tour de France is doing like 45.
Yeah, 45 because
just on flat
against
land.
the wind. Yeah.
And that's quite fast. 45 miles per hour is like 70 kilometers per hour.
Yeah. Have you ever hit like do you know some of the highest speeds you've hit while cycling?
So the highest speed I've hit is 91.9 kph.
Oh my god.
That's over 60 miles per hour. Was that downhill? That's crazy fast.
Mao Summit.
Oh
actually,
my
going down Mao
goodness.
Summit.
You went down the Mouse Summit.
Yeah.
These are people who don't respect their lives.
Yeah.
Like, that is madness.
I mean, I imagine at such a speed, if you don't have good control, you could easily wobble.
It's just adrenaline. It's just we seek that
rush.
Yeah, that rush.
It's like martial arts, because I've done a bit of martial arts, and it's like you get punched up and everything, but then your adrenaline rush. It's like really nice. It's a fun kind of high, if you call it that. Like a high from physical activity.
It's like a very weird drug. Even you can't get that high with anything else.
Although I would do it on a bike though.
Arnold Schwarzenegger quote.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger was like, I love the feeling of being in the gym, getting a pump. It's as similar to me as having sex with a woman and coming. And I was like, can you believe how I'm in heaven? I'm coming in the gym, I'm coming when I pose, I'm coming day and night. You can look it up on YouTube. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Actually, I got the video you shared. I'm gonna download it and send it so they can like overlay it,
I'm coming.
It's as satisfying to me as coming is, as having sex with a woman and coming. So can you believe how much I am in heaven? I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym, I'm getting the feeling of coming at home, I'm getting the feeling of coming backstage when I pump up, when I pose out in front of 5,000 people, I get the same feeling. So I'm coming day and night. I mean, it's terrific, right? So, I'm in heaven.
I'm coming day and night.
So I imagine then in a way, perhaps the allure of sports is, in a way, it's because adrenaline is a drug, and so people seek adrenaline through various sports. I play a lot of football, soccer for the Americans, and I get a lot of adrenaline from that as well. It's exciting.
We'll go for a tackle.
I play defense.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Why would you play defense? Defense has been so loyal to you. Why would you play defense?
I do play defense. Sometimes I play the field, and sometimes I shoot against the goal. But it's so I guess you do pickleball, cycling, and is there any other sport you do?
Pickleball, cycling, I lift.
You lift.
Basically that's it.
Wow, and you also coach for pickleball.
And he also coaches kids with autism.
So I also do autistic coaching for kids.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm interested in that. Like,
what is it like coaching kids who are autistic?
Yeah, exactly.
Because most people don't know much about autism in Kenya.
Basically, it's hard work, basically. And you actually have to... Yeah, the money is good, I'll be honest, but you have to really care for the kids. If you don't have that caring, you can't do it, because the kids are they're a certain way. You just have to understand.
What's that word for this range of mental conditions?
The spectrum.
Neurodivergence.
Yeah, the spectrum is so wide.
They don't think the same as normies.
Yeah, so you have to know the kid
I'm a normie.
and adjust. Because you get some super crazy sharp kids who can talk.
Ramsey, you were saying something about that.
Kids who talk and they're like...
I was saying some of the most gifted people in the world are on the autistic spectrum or have like Asperger's. There's this story, if you've watched The Big Short or read the book, it talks about the financial crisis of 2008 and how so many people saw it coming. Like they knew that there was going to be a housing crash because like housing prices were so inflated in the US. One of these guys, like how he knew it is because he read through hundreds of thousands of documents, showing mortgage prices, thousands of documents showing mortgage prices over the years, and he could notice the glitches. And he had Asperger's, and he just happened to be the manager of a really large fund, so he went all in on it. And I think he grew the fund from like $100 billion to like $1 trillion in that space. Wow. I think Elon Musk himself has said that he might be on the spectrum. I think he said he might have Asperger's.
It just goes to show you that sometimes you don't necessarily have to have like traditional or conventional intelligence to get ahead, which is what's happening in Kenya with people like Brian and Mwenda. And now recently there's been a doctor who has been practicing for 16 years. And it turns out he's never even been to school.
Crazy. There's that. Actually, the guy's name is. Let me see. It is right here. Just checking for the brief.
The brief.
So this guy's name is. This guy's name is. What is it? David something. David Nyawade Onyango.
Sounds like a very violent name.
Yeah, there's been some news there. It's like, we have like this guy who's been a vascular surgeon. For those who might not know, this guy operates on your blood vessels, veins, arteries, capillaries. Yeah, so I remember when I read it first, I was like, he's a vascular sturgeon. But like a sturgeon is a type of bird. Like, so he's been a vascular...
He's a big fat rooster.
Exactly. Exactly. So he's been a vascular surgeon for 16 years. And he did not have any papers. He was found to have got his practicing license using fake papers.
His face kind of looks like he has no papers. Maybe I'm just a hater, but look at it.
I don't know. I mean, he looks like a typical doctor.
It looks like he has toilet papers, but no other types of papers.
He looks like a typical surgeon to me.
He looks to me like a pharmacist. The ones that the chemists who sell you condoms.
But this does take us back to the question, from last time's, gatekeeping. If a guy's practiced for 16 years, on the one hand, you could argue, yeah, he may have put so many lives in danger. He may even have, so many patients may have, experienced, fatal conditions under him. But I would like to argue that if he was a vascular surgeon for 16 years, he must have had quite a number of successes at least for him to survive that long. Yeah. Now I'm just going back to the whole gatekeeping thing, is that do we really need gatekeeping, number one? Or number two, how much gatekeeping do we need? Remember I was talking about the architecture thing? I know so many people who practice architecture, design houses for people, but they do not have the license. So for a surgeon, I imagine, what you're getting in school is a lot of training, and then you go get tested and whatnot. So this guy presumably never got tested, but because of maybe practice, hanging around doctors, surgeons, doing it on the field, he probably got really good at it. So when you find someone like this, do you, bring them to
burn them at the stake?
Or do you just take them then and test them to see if they're going to pass anyway, and then give them a license?
I think the thing they're trying to show is some strictness towards breaking the law, because there's all these codes and oaths, like the Hippocratic Oath.
The Hippocratic Oath, yeah.
So all these things are taken very seriously, and they want to show the medical fraternity that these things are frowned upon. They won't tolerate any kind of fraud. So I think that's what they're trying to do. They have to make an example out of him, whether or not it's morally acceptable or not.
I think the question, though, I personally think the question isn't whether these guys should have a license. I suppose it's important to have some kind of regulatory framework and anything that might affect human life, but also how much framework. You ever heard the saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions? Like, if you start making laws against something, right, laws to regulate something, how much is too much? Because you might end up gatekeeping really gifted individuals who might not be able to afford the education, go through the education system and whatnot.
And Graham, you said you mentioned gifted people, and Graham was just saying that some of the kids are really bright. Could you give us some examples of how you see that manifesting?
So most kids they have delayed speech. Mm-hmm. So some of them develop their own language, but you have to be really close to them to realize these kids can actually communicate. So I have
between themselves?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have two kids in the same estate with the same condition. They're both autistic, but the two kids can understand each other.
How do they communicate? What is the nature of their language?
It's very weird. So I teach them how to cycle. So one kid can go and just make a certain sound to the other kid. You just see them walking away and they go and take a pee.
Wow.
Literally, they just both walk away and go to the grass, take a pee.
Wow.
Put down their pants, put it back up, come back.
So one of the characteristics of autism, common characters, is delayed speech. I remember Einstein had delayed speech. He couldn't talk until I think 5 years old or something. But he was pretty smart.
His parents must have been very frustrated.
And then another thing, although you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're the expert here, is that kids with autism tend to be single-minded, so they can get really good, extremely good at one or two things.
That is true. So how we approach to help the kids, we'll make sure we tell the parents to take them for all types of schools. do swimming, do rugby, do everything. There is one which they tend to gravitate to. What they gravitate to, they become really good. Like the ones I have, they're just purely cycling.
Wow.
They don't play football. They don't interact with other kids playing with toy cars. They just want to cycle. And they are picking faster than normal kids at their age. Yeah.
Actually, I'm just looking at characteristics of autism.
So there is delayed speech. You do have the high intelligence, and then they kind of they don't like, you don't change the environment so much.
Right.
Yeah. So they're used to a routine. They're used to the same
A friend of mine has an autistic child, and that one in particular is very sensitive to sound. So anytime people are singing or it's very interesting.
Another thing I can see here about people on the autism spectrum is that psychologically they tend to be less empathetic and aware of others' emotions. Like their social development is.
Yeah.
Do you see this a lot with your kids?
Yeah. Like they don't. The two kids I'm talking about, they just play with themselves. If they're not alone, they'll be with the other kid. They don't interact with the normal kids at all. They don't, like, things that would entice normal kids don't work for them.
Right. And also, they do tend, another characteristic of the autistic spectrum is that they do tend to have a lot of compulsive behavior and impulsive and repetitive movements.
Yeah. So one thing you say about the sounds, like even the shower sound, when they're in the shower, they can't stand the sound. They can't, and when they want something, maybe if he wants a certain toy, or if he wants your phone, he'll just want your phone. He can't want my phone, or he just wants your phone, and he'll do everything to get that phone. Until you give him the phone, now his interest can shift to something else.
Speaking of the lack of empathy for others' emotions or depression, I think maybe the landlord from hell might be a little autistic.
There's a landlord in
Gaza. See that? I made a smooth transition.
You'd be a good DJ.
It's not just you, man. Jean's always the one that does that.
Yeah, that was a good one. I salute you. So there's a landlord in Gaza whose tenant had their roommate get kidnapped, and this guy was like, you know what, I don't
during the Hamas attack.
There's a war going on in Israel.
So he tells, she was kidnapped, and he tells the roommate,
get another roommate or pay her ship.
Yeah, or you can ship out. I wonder, the question is that fair or ethical? Like, at what point do you stop regarding
how far removed
business
from society must this guy be? Like, the war is not affecting him at all. It's like, hey, I don't care what's happening, just pay me my money. It's crazy to think about. He must be really rich and
let's play devil's advocate for a minute. Let's play devil's advocate for a minute and take the other side, because you can't really support a point unless you can
something stupid. Brian Mwenda is like devil's advocate.
Yeah, there's actually a movie about that. I don't know if you watched it.
No.
Like Keanu Reeves stars in it. It's like he's like a fast rising lawyer who gets recruited by a law firm, and then he finds out that his boss is the devil himself.
That's a crazy concept. That's a cool concept.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, so in this case, I'm just saying, let's play devil's advocate for a minute.
For the landlord.
You're a landlord in a war-torn area. Obviously, people are starving. You got to make ends meet, and I suppose kidnappings are not that uncommon in such an area, and maybe even some people have been known to fake kidnappings to get out of paying rent. Like, there's this meme I saw about this guy who faked a heart attack at 20 restaurants to get out of paying the restaurant bill.
That's seriously messed up. Cool. That's seriously messed up.
So I suppose in such like a high pressure, high tension environment, you might be a little less empathetic to the needs of others. Every man for himself.
Yeah.
One of the things about like war and conflicting situations is that they do force you to go back to your basic survival instincts in many ways. Is that saying in the Navy is that when times get tough, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
it's a quote from the Navy SEALs.
The Navy SEALs, yeah, exactly. So I mean, just playing devil's, not saying that what he's doing is right. I'm just trying to understand what thought processes he was going through as he was doing this that made him completely ignore the.
You make a very valid point. I don't know. What do you think about it?
But also, I think how good is your money during wartime?
Good point.
How good is your what?
Your money. Because people are less concerned about money.
The shops are not open. The supermarkets are looted. Probably, like, where's your money good for you?
That's a good point.
It's a good philosophical argument. Ramses was more of a human argument. You try to put yourself in his shoes, and it makes sense.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. But it's just a weird kind of like story to pop up out of that.
And do we have other such situations where like you're going through a really hard time? I'm sure a lot of people have such stories in Kenya, like where maybe and Jean might know this, but you know, without going too much into the details because this is a sensitive topic. I'm gonna talk about it in third person. You know about the employee whose husband committed suicide and then she couldn't come to work and then ended up getting fired because she wasn't performing. And it does like make you, you know, a bit like empathetic of her situation.
Right.
And is that I don't know what other stories people might have, but I do know, for example, that even like on an institutional level, if you look at some of the norms that have come up, like maternity leaves or some are direct responses to situations where, for example, women felt that they were being treated unfairly because they weren't getting maternity leave, and so it kind of like makes this necessary. Or, for example, the need for a termination notice to be given before you're fired. Like, is it 1 month, 2 months, blah, blah. It's just firing someone and telling them to pack up their things and go out without paying them some kind of severance is a bit, you know, unethical.
It's disingenuous.
So I suppose, I mean, I don't know that there's much depth here unless, you know, someone else knows more details about this. So I suppose the appropriate response...
Sounds like a very Kenyan thing to happen, though.
Yeah,
like,
I suppose the appropriate response to this situation is then to kind of like build the laws around just what kinds of situations a landlord can kick you out if you can't make rent.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like even the legal landscape, say for example in an advanced country like the United States, is such that your landlord can't just kick you out like that. This kind of due process. So I'm guessing this due process may have been missing in Israel at the time.
But even in Kenya during COVID, a lot of people are affected. Like you don't have a means to work because you can't work. You can't go to the office. But your landlord still wants rent.
Exactly. You know, I noticed during COVID, some of the most affected people were people in the service industry.
Right.
Waitresses,
Uber drivers.
No one
was going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking to this Uber driver just the other month, and he was telling me ever since COVID hit, even though the disease, you know, we don't have the lockdowns and whatnot, Uber industry has never quite recovered. People were making a lot more money before that, and so you kind of imagine if your financial situation changes like that, how much empathy are you supposed to get from your bills, your creditors, and whatnot? Yeah. So anyway, that's that. Honestly, I don't think there's much depth to it. But going back to Graham. You do know, by the way, you're named after the father of telephone.
I was saying before we started, we have some really fancy pants names. We have Ramsey over there, we have Graham now.
Yeah, so
Lord Graham.
Alexander Graham Bell, you know, invented the telephone. Yeah.
There was some controversy around that though, because they said there was one person who was going to file the patent. They filed it on the same day, but then, or is it Thomas Edison? I'm not so sure.
No. Thomas Edison, that's a totally different.
It's the light bulb.
It's between him and Nikola Tesla.
Right. So what was his name again?
Alexander
Graham Bell is the one who got it first, who got his approved first. Yeah. So there's some controversy around that.
So, but
it's a cool name.
Surprisingly, I was named after the Graham the preacher.
Who's that? Oh, Billy Graham. Oh, Billy Graham. I remember that guy.
But I'm
used to be like my alarm clock.
I'm drifting away from.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to ask you was, because we spoke about the speed. I wanted to ask you, what is the greatest distance you have ever cycled in one go?
That's a good one.
So think 2019, we were going to Kitale so I stay in Rongai. So we were planned to cycle from Nairobi to Kitale. So the first day we did 200k.
Wow, non-stop.
Non-stop, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So from Nairobi to Salga, then we.
Wow, 200 kilometers.
How long did that take you? How long did you
take to cycle 200
How long
kilometers?
did you take?
Give or take 8 hours.
Jesus.
So I suppose if you took 8 hours, that would be 25 kilometers an hour steady.
Yeah, actually right.
With the power of your legs.
We were actually having an argument for the viewers. We were having an argument with Jean because he was like, one 16% beer actually has more alcohol content in it than 3 KO bottles, because the KO bottle is 8% alcohol and this is 16%. It's 500 ml versus 300 ml. I was like, no, that's not true. And then I found out it was true. I was trying to do it in my head.
We should probably finish this so we can review the next one before the time is up, by the way. So this was OJ. OJ, how would you rate it out of 10, Graham?
OJ, I'd give it maybe a 7.
Why a 7?
I think they can do better. Okay, beer is mainly taken by men, but if the flavor is toned down a bit, I think it can appeal to a larger.
You think it has too much flavor?
Yeah, the barley. The barley is really.
Yeah, it's quite strong.
Yeah.
Why do you think beer is mostly taken by men?
Because I don't know.
I think it's an ego.
It feels like a manly drink.
Yeah.
And you can get more. It feels like you're drinking more for less. Because liquor, you finish a bottle, but then you get fucked up. But then beer, you can have a couple where you're talking. Yeah. It's a good way to kill the time.
Yeah, so like I'm trying to look up if there's any like research around this, and they're saying beer tends to trigger the release of dopamine more in men, and as a result, because it does boost their moods, but also because of the socialization of drinking beer, it also promotes male bonding. If many men are taking, because we do tend to take beer conveniently, you tend to, talk more and your moods are already pretty high and so on. So I guess for a lot of men, it's their one opportunity to bond with other men. We don't get that a lot.
Right.
Men are pretty solitary creatures. Women are really good at socializing and bonding with each other. Men tend to be solitary.
If you go to 1824, you'll find an example of that. When you're going down the stairs and you look, the ladies' bathroom is actually transparent. And they're always taking selfies. People who don't know each other.
Why don't you make a bathroom? Why don't you put transparent windows in a bathroom?
It's voyeurish.
I mean,
but transparent from the waist up.
From the waist up, yeah.
Yeah, from the waist. No, it's not from the waist up. It's just that it's at the area where the sinks are.
That's so weird. It's like, hey guys, just have a look at these beautiful women.
Maybe that's part of the appeal. Some people might just go to 1824 just for that.
1824 is the bar for voyeurs.
And the women are between 18 and 24, even though the policy says you should be over 25. Have you ever noticed that? They never check women for IDs.
Yeah, that's all they do.
It doesn't matter because they're telling, the guys know if you go to a club and has many women, you buy a lot of drinks.
Yeah, that's why they also...
So they are very lenient with that rule.
Yeah. It's so weird. It's like women don't know, but they're being inadvertently used as
marketing devices.
Yeah, exactly, to attract men. And also, like I was gonna say, women bond so easily. One of the most fascinating things I find about women that I'm like, I don't understand the logic of that is, first of all, they call each other babe. They don't know each other, hold hands. And the craziest one for me is that they take each other to the toilet. Guys don't do that.
Imagine guys doing that, holding hands.
Let me take you to the toilet, bro.
Oh, let's go. With holding your hands and whatever. Like, hey, Buddha, but
I think men...
the weirdest shit.
Okay, there's two ways to look at it, but I think men also bond... I can't say easily, but quickly. Like, I'll know you today. And you'll be my friend for we'll meet. That's even true. After 5 years. I'm like, yeah, hey.
Because Graham and I actually met in the gym, just randomly.
Yeah, one of the funniest phenomenon I've seen is it's become a meme. Is that men can bond and then go for a really long time without even knowing each other's names.
Oh yeah. Like in the gym, I used to call him bro.
Yeah, bro.
I used to call him bro.
Hey bro,
hey bro. I was like, you don't need to know.
5 years later, by mistake, he drops his ID. Like, oh, your name is actually Graham.
Yeah.
You don't even want to ask. It's so awkward asking a guy, what's your name?
Yeah. It's like
feels like such a private thing to reveal.
It's like, imagine aliuliza jina yangu bwana. Aliuliza jina yangu.
Unimtoa gani? But yeah, so you said you're rating it 7.
Wait, before we jump that topic, there's another thing I always say, like, You should never video call another guy. It's just weird.
Never do it.
Never video call another guy.
Video call is super cringy.
Why? Why are you video calling me? What are we talking about that we need to be seeing each other face to face? Man to man. What the hell? But I have a friend who does that.
Makes me wonder what the because now it makes me wonder what is the range of appropriate situations in which to video call. I know if you're having official meetings it makes sense. Because like we were learning in some kind of training I had at work, is that when you're communicating with someone, you can think of it as a spectrum. You know, the way like even with light, the more kinds of light you can see, the more information you get. We're just seeing visible light. If you see infrared, you get more information.
See UV.
So, for example, communication doesn't just happen via voice or text. It's like body language too. So you want to have that video call. But then in really intimate, non-casual, casual situations, you video call a woman because obviously you want to see her pretty face and you want to see her body language, you know, when you're talking to her, so you can make sure she's really at home and alone. But when you're video calling a guy in a casual situation, why do you want to see his body language? What
are you trying to achieve? Why, as a man,
him?
are you video calling me? It's wrong. Never video call another guy.
It's like always, whenever you're video calling, or like a lot of the time, you probably your hair is messy or in bed, you look like this. It's like it's such a
in bed is like the gayest thing ever. Both you guys are in bed talking to each other, shirtless.
So what are you doing, bro?
What is this?
What are you doing right now? I know, just chilling.
What are you wearing?
The weird thing whenever you video call a chick, she always has proper lighting. It's so weird.
Chicks take a lot of time. It's like a girl would rather not pick your video call
than be seen looking.
Than be seen with, you know, like her shaggy hair and stuff.
But some of them have ring lights. Imagine walking to a girl's place and you find a ring light, and you know she's not a YouTuber. What is that?
She's a cam girl.
She's a cam girl. Everybody has seen her behind.
Oh, okay.
Behind the scenes.
She
can be on TikTok without ring light.
I guess John just wants to take the most pessimistic, the most cynical view of this. It's like Jean's first assumption. He just like, you ever seen that meme where you got like a kid and then he's jumping over all the intermediate steps to step?
Like
he jumps over TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, goes to like, yep, she's a cam girl.
She's a cam girl. I knew it. I called it.
She's on Chatterbait. She's on OnlyFans.
Spreading her cheeks for the world to see.
Yeah. Another topic we wanted to cover. I feel like we're rushing through them. How much time do we have?
It's because we're high. I'm feeling.
We have 20. Oh my god, we've been talking for 40 minutes. Yeah. So the other one, and this one was a pretty interesting one for me, is
a bit of a sad one actually.
Yeah, caveman. I'm guessing this guy is Kenyan because
why are we calling him caveman? That sounds so rude.
I'm looking at the house.
R.I.P. caveman.
The house built here. Did you know like there's such like distinctively Kenyan architecture? You can look at a house like this is in Kenya because like it has a certain design.
It was built by Kikuyu.
The colors weren't color blocked properly. You know,
it's blue and maroon. Like
the cut stones is just looking like
even the design to celebrate the house with the balloons is just shady. It's very shady.
So a guy lived in a cave for 23 years and then well-wishers, because they thought they were doing the right thing, gifted him a house. And then he
was found dead.
He was found dead in the house, I guess barely a few months after he was given the house. And kind of raises the question, if you ever find someone who's living in an extreme environment, and there have been so many situations like this, like the guy who hadn't bathed for 60 years and then he took his first shower and died barely a few months at 94 when he took his first shower.
He died because he got clean. He had become a germ. He had become a germ.
Exactly. But you know, it's amazing because if you don't bathe that long, your skin, because of all the dead skin piling and all the dust, you have like almost bark-like skin. It's that hard.
Can you imagine how he smelled? Oh my god.
I know. So that, you shouldn't ever give such a person a shower. They've adapted, right? I've heard
it's like burning them, basically. Cleanliness is like...
Yeah. I've heard the story of the other kid, and this one is actually in Kenya, who had apparently been raised by monkeys. So, I I swear to God, it was a really old story. It's like probably from like 2012
Imagine a day in the life of being raised by monkeys. You wake up in the morning, like you have to like do the monkey grooming.
Yeah,
it's like a whole.
But it was really sad because
you have to remove ticks from your brother.
Yeah, it was really sad. Actually, I got this video sent to me by one of our ThinkShack followers. It's like it was really sad because what happened is this kid, of course, could not talk, was used to a particular diet, could not walk, had to walk on all fours.
Like a dog.
Yeah, exactly. Had no manner of socialization whatsoever. So when they discovered this kid, when they took the kid out, the kid was so depressed. It was a terrible situation. But eventually, the kid formed a friendship because they took the kid to a children's home, formed a friendship with another kid. Like a well socialized kid,
normally groomed
kid, and they would only talk to that. You kind of like your autistic situation, and they kind of like learn to communicate. It's like I guess the point here is that sometimes, even with the best of intentions, you might be causing more harm than good.
I wonder what killed them. They didn't mention it in the brief, but
it's more like if it's not broken, don't fix it.
If it's not broken, don't fix it. Yeah.
Can you imagine 23 years in a cave? Like that's your whole world right there.
One argument I'm seeing by I've called him a tweak, but it's more like an Xer now. Is that you've been conditioned to cave life. Your body is shifting to sudden like room temperature, sudden warmth, and the environment is affecting you, and your body is sort of like expected to adapt quickly, which it really can't.
Most people don't realize how easy it is to overheat. It's very easy to overheat, especially if your temperature regulation is off balance.
Yeah, exactly. And you even see this in animals. So, for example, one of the things that make humans such like we are really, really good in the entire animal world, running over long distances. A cheetah runs super fast, but it can only do this explosive speed
like
over small distances. Got like wolves and whatnot, but like a human being can run really fast because we have really good temperature regulation with sweating. So what happens is that back when we were like hunting and gathering, what would happen is that when a human was hunting, he would chase an animal, and the animal would collapse out of exhaustion.
Right.
He can chase it over great distances. It's like we can run, bro. We can run.
Let's keep going.
For as long as you want. And the animal eventually just collapses, and then the human comes in.
The animal is like, fuck these guys, man. Like, you gotta stop chasing me.
So like every time you find and we also have like a similar situation, by the way. You may know about the story of Mowgli. From the jungle,
the monkey.
Yeah.
When the tiger was trying to kill him, the tiger looked so sinister.
Shere Khan. Yeah.
Why was he Indian? I will kill you.
Because Mowgli is an Indian story.
I will kill you.
Mowgli is an Indian story. It was written by Rudyard Kipling, and it was based on the story of a kid who was found having been raised, I think, by wolves or something, kind of like similar to the Mowgli. So Mowgli was raised by wolves, and it was just like a whole phenomenon. So like they kind of romanticized it, we made it into a fairy tale. But like we get a lot of these.
It's actually a dog story. They made it a fairy tale, but it's a dog story.
It's really a story of a bunch of wolves that did a lot of work to raise a child, and what thanks did they get?
Nothing. And then the tiger is trying to kill the kid the whole time. That's trauma.
That's a lot of trauma. Exactly. And just
you have a tiger as an
why? Yeah. I guess a similar story. I don't know if it's based on a true story. Is the story of Tarzan. Who was supposedly raised by chimps or gorillas?
Yeah.
One of
chimps.
The tiger is an op. You're up to the tiger.
That's crazy.
This is like one of the funniest questions I've heard asked by Tarzan is that. By the time he was meeting that lady, the explorer girl,
Jane must have been a freak. Like
he was already
someone who behaves like a monkey and you fall in love with him.
Yeah, but then here's the thing: he was already sexually mature by the time he was meeting her. So
he was fucking.
She said he'd been clapping that whole time, bro. And we just asked the important questions here.
Tarzan.
So I guess every time you come across a situation where someone has had to adapt to extreme situations, I guess it's important to practice caution. I bet these people thought they were doing God's work when they're like, here's a house, bro. Because you were living in a cave.
I wonder if they ever got his opinion. Probably not.
What?
I wonder if they ever got his opinion.
He maybe couldn't even talk.
Maybe he can't communicate, exactly.
Imagine living so long, 23 years, without talking to anyone else. I suppose you could forget human speech. I don't know.
It's your brain kind of malfunctions because it's like a virus, like something new, entirely new.
Right, exactly.
Close to home in Rongai, there's a Kiss. You see the story of the Kiss TV radio presenter who was in the street and people in Rongai washed him up, gave him a card. He's back in the streets after like 2 weeks.
Wow. Maybe he enjoys being in the streets.
That's an important point because it's actually a real problem. A lot of people find street kids and they're like, I'm gonna take him, adopt him, and the street kid could like end up killing you or like stealing you, and he goes back on the streets.
That's so dark.
Fucking ungrateful little urchin. It's like you can't really blame the street kid for this. What did you expect, bro? It's like taking.
You just call him an urchin.
But that's the word, isn't it? Like a street urchin.
That's like a sophisticated insult.
Speaking of sophisticated insults, like let me actually check the meaning of urchin. I hope I'm not butchering it. An urchin is a young child who's poorly or raggedly dressed.
Oh wow, that's a diss.
Yeah.
Can't believe there's a specific word for that.
I thought this was pretty common,
Street urchin.
I just drop new vocabulary, but yeah, it's like
there's someone who calls himself an urchin in Kenya. Like that's my nickname because people call themselves Smurf. Like me, I go Archin.
Archin.
Basically calling themselves a chocolate.
Yeah. I suppose with the new kinds of fashions we've been seeing over time, like wearing raggedy trousers and shit, we're probably all urchins.
Case in point.
I'm an urchin right now.
He's an urchin.
An urchin in the streets, a freak in the sheets.
I am floating right now.
Yeah. You don't know the saying? Lady in the streets, freak in the sheets. What if a street kid walked up to a lady?
That's a nice idea for an accountant.
Like a street kid walked up to a lady, like an urchin in the streets and a freak in the sheets.
I want to get one of those
mugs.
mugs.
Kind of seductive and all that.
I want to get one of those mugs for my girlfriend because she's an accountant. So you say a freak in the sheets, but it's like the Excel sheets.
Or the Excel sheets.
Yeah, freak in the sheets.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I guess this is all about like rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably a science to it.
You probably shouldn't do it unless the person says it.
Not if you don't know what you're doing. FYI, here's like a fun fact. Starehe Boys Center in school, it started as a rehabilitation center for street kids.
That explains the uniform.
Really true.
Yeah, actually, and then later on
I was at Starehe.
I was at Starehe too.
The uniform looks like...
Oh my god!
Fine number.
12473.
It's the reunion later.
Shit, now someone's gonna go find me in the files. What?
12950.
Then you came.
You guys are the same year.
I was in Pacho House.
But I was in Geturo.
Go Pacho.
Above us.
Yeah, right above you. What year did you play?
You guys probably knew each other.
Finished in 2013.
2013. Then that means we brushed shoulders.
Brushed shoulders.
Brushed shoulders.
Nice.
When I was there, so it was like 2013, 2012, 2011, 2010. No, I left in 2009. I never saw you.
Yeah, you never saw me.
I left in 2009.
So you never brushed soldier.
That's nice.
So like it started as a rehabilitation center for street kids, and then they added the school later. And one of the things that stands out, any Syrian will know, is that there's almost a military hierarchy and system, like the systems of prefects. It's so extra. You only know this after you get out. Like there's sub-prefects, full prefects, senior prefects.
What was happening with the uniform though? Like I don't know, navy blue half sweaters, red shirts. And then light blue.
I mean, I know the founder wasn't a designer, so I'd forgive him.
Yeah,
it wasn't a fashion designer. It was about the Scouts movement because they also look at the Scout uniform. It also looks pretty funky, like the whole browns and stuff.
Yeah, if you think about it, Scouts are really weird.
Yeah,
Scouts are really weird people. So, you go into the forest, learn how to tie knots. For no purpose whatsoever.
It's really...
You learn how to... The best one I saw is that if you put up like a bunch of like cells in a certain array and then you put knives on them, because of the electricity traveling and the high resistance in the knives, you just made a stove. If you put cells in a certain, like 4 cells and then a knife here, knife here, knife here, knife here, they get hot after a while, so you can cook your food on that, depending on the strength of the cell. It's about survival skills, I suppose, at the end of the day.
But it's kind of useless because we're living in a modern world. What are you going to need to tie a rope for? Unless you're committing suicide.
That's the only time you're ever have a zombie apocalypse.
That's the only time you're ever going to need to learn how to tie a rope when you want to choke yourself.
All until we have a zombie apocalypse or Armageddon or something like that.
But you still need to learn how to tie a rope. What would you do then? Even if the zombies are attacking.
No, because rope tying.
You hide yourself. That's the only thing you can do.
Okay, I think you're being really
pessimistic.
Yeah, because like rope tying, like knowing how to tie knots helps you. For example, if you need to build a shelter for yourself, you have no nails. Or a raft.
Or BDSM.
What are you doing with a
lion with like tie her up?
Who are you having BDSM with?
The monkeys.
You gotta spank that monkey? It's like, take it, baby.
You're having a scout sex.
It's literally no one. Else.
Listen. Scout sex must involve the best knots you'll ever see in BDSM. They're like high quality knots.
Scout sex.
I'm not getting out of that knot, bro.
Yeah.
Knot tying is like a really good science. It does help you to do a lot of things, especially where you have no other way to bind things. You know, you're pulling a tree down because you wanna cut it down and stuff. You're trying to climb up and so on. Rock climbing requires knot tying.
Meme reviews require knot times. Let's do the meme review because we have about 5 minutes left.
Okay,
Let's start with yours.
Finally, I don't have to look for mine on the spot because I tried to get some before.
Let's review your memes.
Because
we are exploring memes to the extremes. Extreme nudity on this channel.
Yeah, let's see some of his memes. You're just gonna have to pass them around, and then you will have to share them with the producer. You looking for them? I guess we can go to Jean if he already has some ready.
Oh yeah, I do. I have memes, bro. I have memes for days. Here we are.
I have memes for days.
ThinkShack. Start with this one. This one here with the blue and red.
Okay, let's
play it with sound. Play it with sound.
Oh wait, what? Oh wait,
so
I don't
he
get
had put
it.
a sign.
Oh, he put a note on the car that was in the way, like move your shit box. Move your shit box. And then he found the car was owned by a nun.
Yeah, and he was like, oh my goodness, thank God.
Okay. I think Graham has one. Do you have one?
What's the next one? I have another one.
So, her.
What was that?
I like boys who can sing or play the guitar, sing and play the guitar. And then this is the guy performing.
Which one is that?
Oh, it's what you do to me. Hey there, Delilah.
Okay. This is when the shower water is too hot.
You know that dance when you do when the shower is too hot? You don't even, you just like, you just jump into
break dance out of here. Maybe that's why I'm.
Wonder why you put yourself through that. Just have a cold shower, you bitch. But then you still want the heat. It's like.
Maybe Amapiano was invented by a guy trying to walk on hot coals. He's got so much footwork, and I just want to jump and avoid that shit.
Sounds like a torture method they would use for Negroes in the past.
I have one.
I still have more. You actually should have scrolled down like
this. Okay. There's more. Let's see.
The ones in the DM were the ones, not those ones. It was just one.
So this next one with the little cat, right?
Yeah.
So.
He's stopping a fight between two cats.
And he's giving them a talk.
He's
even pulling them back. Like, we just got a cat, we pull back. Oh my god. It's like, walk it off, bro. Walk it off.
Go to the next one in the DM.
Okay, let me see.
Oh, I've seen this one.
That's a double hip replacement by the cat.
She gives you that look.
This is one of those where you have to see it to get it.
Yeah.
I hope it gets shown.
The Maasai one is hilarious.
Where's the Maasai one?
The hilarious one.
Just like scroll to it. I couldn't find it on that particular carousel.
Oh. Yeah. I think it's because it was sent by Graham. Oh, it's over here. It's in the invitation. Oh yeah, I've seen it. Here it is. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it is.
Okay, let's see this one. So it's this one, okay.
Read the caption.
Masaya kisa holy communion alafu realize aperi damu. This is just plain tribals. Okay, I have some.
Tribalism is hilarious.
I have some. I think today I have some good ones. So first one I have.
That is so disappointing.
So here's one. Have you ever sat beside a really noisy couple in the theater? You know, like doing the hanky panky.
Yeah.
Listen to this one.
It's like the eating nuts.
Babe, I think they hear us. I think you're too loud. I have to turn it off. Hey. I hear y'all. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Hey, I told you. Crazy.
It's really the last screening of the day.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
Stop. No, I'm trying to smack you. No, they're gonna hear us. I'm trying to smack you. They ain't gonna hear us. Yeah, they not. Watch. Hey, babe, don't be loud.
Listen to that. Listen.
Oh! Oh my God, you think they heard that? No, ain't nobody heard us. Okay, just don't be loud. Ooh! See? Oh my God, they didn't hear that? See, they didn't hear that? Speed round. Oh, you hear us, my guy? Yeah, I do. Sorry, bro. Sorry. My fault. We done, bro. We done. I told you. I think he heard that, yo. Stop.
Listen to this.
Gotta stop. All right, we done. Hey, babe, I changed my mind. I think I want some popcorn. What you mean? We got popcorn right here. What? No, we don't. We didn't get any. Yeah, it's right here. Just gotta bust the nuts first. Come here. Look that.
Why?
Okay, I have another one. Cartoons were different back in the day. Listen to this one.
You won a prize. What's your address?
42 Oak Street. Hey, Robot, some stranger's bringing me a prize.
A surprise? I'm sorry to tell you this, little Billy. He was bringing you some dick.
Fucking pervert. Okay, this is my favorite one. You ever see those guys that just like to brag about how loyal their girlfriends are? Listen to this one.
Even though we wasn't talking for that long, I just felt like she was doing me dirty. Like, I felt like she couldn't be trusted. Couldn't be me. Yo, you shut up. You say this every time. All y'all be saying all these type of stories and stuff. I'm just saying, not me. I'm saying my girl not like that. She different. All right. Where even is your girl right now? She out at the mall with her friends. Okay, when's the last time you talked to her? Nah, I just talked to her like an hour ago. But she had texted me and she told me her phone was about to die. So like, why would I lie? Open that. I'm telling you, look, it goes straight to voicemail. Her phone is dead, bro. She told the truth. No, it ain't no way you fell for that.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic
See? Look. No, bro. You salty as hell, bro. No, get out of here. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing.
Listen to this.
You got nothing to say. I'm telling you, that don't mean nothing. Now you got nothing to say. You stop, bro. You stop calling. You stop calling, little bro. Like you being mad disrespectful right now, bro. You interrupting the performance. Being mad disrespectful, bro.
I feel like all of mine were just so down. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I didn't even have anything to say.
This happened to me once. I was like,
oh damn, this is about to be a really sad story.
No, it was funny. No, I'm talking about the guy on the other side. So
you're the devil. Oh my god, you villain.
I was at the girl's place, and then this guy calls at like 11, and then I pick up the phone. And was like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, eh? He sounded so shocked and heartbroken.
One thing I noticed that I found really really interesting and weird is that I mean, you've gone through this. How many times have you been having coitus with a girl, and then she gets a phone call in the middle of it, and it's not necessarily like a guy, it's just like a regular person, she picks it and talks normally to them, and then you go on the act, and I'm like
there may be those times she's talked to me normally, but she's been actually
not even her, but like random people, like I know, like your aunt or something. Like how many times you made a call and you think the other person is doing something totally non-coital,
but they're being fucked,
but they're having their cheeks clapped.
True. Like,
it's
I've had a cheek pic, a call from my mom. I'm like, because she can miss her mom's call.
Yeah, people with audacity. She's regulating her breathing. She's like, yeah.
In the middle of something. It's like if you're a little mischievous, you want to like make the strokes even deeper and harder.
Hey. You just want her mom to know her daughter is being fucked.
Yeah. Why is there always an urge? Because I get that urge. I don't know if you get it. I'm going to make this call as difficult for you as possible, just for shits and giggles.
True.
Yeah.
I try to make it just as hard for her to keep quiet.
Yeah.
This is when you're talking to your boss.
I have like a few more questions for
we have to wrap up soon.
Yeah.
With short condoms.
Yeah.
Where's the granola? Because Graham sells granola.
Oh yeah.
It's like so like
amazing granola.
What inspired you to get into fitness? Like, were you always into like all of this stuff? Pickleball, cycling, etc.
It's actually a sad story.
Okay.
It involves a girl.
Break out the tissues.
Mm-hmm. It involves a girl. They always do.
So this chick I was dating.
Mm-hmm.
She was dating a chicken.
So it was actually in UN, Upper Kabete.
Oh my god.
I had like a...
You have so much audacity. Dating a UN chick?
I was having a strap babe. So one day she was like, look through my phone, check the hair I put last week with the man you sent me, blah blah blah. So I was scrolling. So I did the mistake to scroll too far.
What did you see?
So she had taken a selfie with a dude at the back.
Oh gee.
Probably giving an evil smile. Like, yeah. So he knew he would see it eventually.
The dude had like a massive chest tattoo, and he was jacked.
He's like, I'm the man you're not.
So I was like, shit, I can't get a tattoo, but I can get jacked.
You'd rather your girlfriend cheat on you with someone worse than you, because if it's better than he'll give you like such.
No, let's listen to this story.
The guy was jacked, but he had tattoo. So like, I can't get a tattoo now, but I can surely get jacked. So I started working on it.
Oh yeah.
Wow. And how many years ago was this? Like, I just want to get a view of how many years you've been doing this.
Like 6 years.
5-6 years.
Yeah, like 6 years.
And he's so into fitness, he started his own granola company. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so I try to do the things I love, which are interconnected. So with the fitness, with the nutrition, because I did food science and tech. So basically, the whole talk about beers. So I'm the one who does. Basically, my work is to like check the contents of the beer, make sure the body is okay. So previously, I've worked for KCC, Brookside. Worked for Trigger Foods.
Trigger Foods, yeah, I've heard of that.
As a quality assurance. So that's what I did for campus. So like I can merge fitness with the food aspect.
Yeah, I can see how powerful that is, because like one thing Jean does apart from fitness is he also sells meal plans. That's actually how we met, because he sold me a meal plan that I never used. Another question I have is what advice would you give someone who's having trouble staying consistent with fitness? Because I know every time I try to start the gym, I stop after a while because it just doesn't work for me. I could play football for years, for days, all day, every day. But the gym is just like I have trouble maintaining the discipline.
So I try to tell people like choose something you can sustain. Like for you, put it well. You can play football for years. Now just get your diet right. Like you see Messi looking ripped, you see Cristiano looking ripped. Those guys are not. Yes, they go to the gym, but not as massively like the time he spends in the gym. Yeah. So just check your diet, and then you'll get there. Then if you're into fitness, don't go for like. People confuse fitness with bodybuilding.
Right.
You can run and you are fit.
Right. So not everyone has to be a bodybuilder.
Not everyone has to go to the gym.
Yeah.
You can run keep your diet right, you're fit, you can.
I always was of that opinion because every time someone talks about like fitness and like weight loss and whatnot, the number one advice that's given is hit the gym, and I'm like, wait a minute, just like not everyone can be a doctor or anything, we all get turned on by different kinds of sports. So whatever works for you, just find it and keep doing it.
So before we get turned off, because the
battery, One drivers, by
because the battery is about to run out and we'll get turned off very soon.
Or the vibrator.
Let us put this vibration to an end. It's been a pleasure having you, Graham.
I think this was a pretty chill episode. I like how we really got to know Graham really well.
Let us know if you would like to have Graham in future episodes. Graham, you can give your social media links or handles if you want people to follow you.
My personal page where you can get me for the fitness, for the autism, is Graham Temba. On,
Could you spell that? The Temba part.
Graham TEMBA. And then for pickleball, Nairobi Pickleball Club, located at Two Rivers Rooftop.
What about the granola?
Granola, it's called Grano Crunch Granola.
Taste
Grano Crunch.
Same name. So Graham, Grano, then Crunch.
That's a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
So nice name, very nice taste as well.
So it has different flavors. You have the chocolate, you have the banana, you have the plain one.
So why is granola such a popular food for like good nutrition?
So basically for the granola, I started making it for cyclists. So you're on the go, you want to snack, but you can't really stop to eat like a meal. So you have it in your pocket.
So this has a lot of good calories.
And does it have any particularly important nutrients that it gives you?
So we have oats in there. Oats is a really balance. It has protein. It has oats is a complete. It has the protein content you need, the carbohydrates, and then it has groundnuts for the nuts, so you get your healthy fats.
These nuts.
So granola is an amalgamation of groundnuts and oats.
Yeah, groundnuts, oats, and then
so
you have
nuts,
some
basically.
honey there, and then some spices and coconut flakes.
That's nice.
So,
Sounds really nice.
It tastes amazing, guys. Go and follow his channel. In the meantime, this has been Jean.
This has been Ramsey.
And Graham.
Catch you in the next one.
Has been the Granola Shack.
The Granola Shack. Cheers, guys.
With a side of OJ.
Side of.
Because you can't have the good without the bad.
Of course.